JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 8th of March 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, the first one actually I want to pick up here is the German index, the DAX, and that one is popping higher today. So this morning I talked about this index and I said that if we get a pop of that 14,051 territory, then yes, this could open the door towards higher levels. And as you can see, this is exactly what's happening right now. So it is testing my next target, this 14,131, but if it continues to accelerate, then of course the all eyes are going to be on the highest, the all-time high near the 14,197 territory, and yep, we'll take it from there, guys. So for now, everything's kind of looking very good here for the German index, and yep, let's see where it's going to close today in relation to this downside line and this 14,051. S&P 500, so this one on Friday managed to climb back above its upside support line, drawn from the low of the 23rd of March of 2020. Of course, that kind of it gives a bit of hope here for the buyers, and more of them could start joining in. However, I would prefer to maybe wait for a push above the 3,871 territory right here. This area is marked by the high of the 26th of January, also is marked near the high of the 3rd of March, so in a way a lot of things are pointing here to the upside. However, again, before getting comfortable with that idea, like I said, I would prefer to wait for a push above that barrier, above this 3,871. If we look at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is balancing near the 3,837 mark. So basically still below the 21-day EMA and this barrier, but above this upside line. So there is a chance for the bulls to step in and drive this one higher. Now, jumping into DXY, it's slowly pushing higher. I mean, not going to spend too much time on this one. I've talked about DXY this morning, and yeah, I mean, so far everything's looking good here, and it continues to climb higher. So that's what I'm targeting here for now. Jumping into silver very quickly. So of course, the fact that DXY is pushing north, it's not really working well here for the for silver, and yep, it's still kind of it's trading below all of these upside lines here. Now the main one I'm keeping an eye on is of course this one, drawn from the low of the 18th of March. We did have an attempt today to push above it. We did so, but it still remained below it, and now we're once again near this this 25 territory right here, this key support zone. So keep your eyes on that one. If we eventually do see that daily candle staying below that 21 day, below that 25 level, then yep, we'll start aiming for that 200-day EMA, and then we'll take it from there, guys. Now, jumping into in terms of the upside, well, to be honest, with the upside on this one, I would prefer to wait for at least a push back above the 27 mark here in order to go for further upside. Now, jumping into Brent oil, so the index, the commodity is pushing higher, or should I say it had pushed higher this morning. And if you remember this morning, I talked about Brent oil, and I said that if we climb above the 71.28 zone, which is the highest point of 2020, then yes, of course, we'll start looking at some higher levels. But we just got a fractional push above this, and you can see that, yeah, we saw a bit of a retracement here. So let's see if this little reversal here will kind of end up being a nice, or should I say, will lead into a nice retracement, a larger retracement here, a larger correction to the downside. If you want to consider that idea, well, at least wait for a drop back below the 67.68 territory marked by the high of the, or should I say, the highest point of February, and then yes, lower levels could be met. Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash, we're still waiting for this one to make a move, and as mentioned before last week, in order to go for some higher levels, we need to see that push above the 553 territory. So yes, we are still trading above this upside line drawn from the low the 23rd of December, but in order to get a little bit more excited with the upside, well, we need to see that push above this 553 territory. For now, we're not really getting that, so that's why we're going to remain cautiously bullish, I would say. In terms of the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line and a drop below the 432 territory. Jumping into a few pairs very quickly. AUD/JPY. So far it's still this downside line is providing resistance, and this one's taken from the high of the 25th of February, and in a way, I would say that as long as this downside line stays intact, yes, there is a very good chance we could see this one pushing lower here, and aiming for the low of the 26th of February here near the 82 territory. For now, we're still kind of near this downside line, and that's why I'm going to be a little bit more on the careful side, because if suddenly this gets broken and we see a push above last week's high near the 84 territory, now that's where it could become very interesting for more buyers. Jumping into a few pairs, like these ones, the dollar pairs and USD CAD. So another attempt today to push above this downside line. I talked about this, and yep, we did have another push. But once again, we are, or should I say, the bulls are struggling to keep the pair above that downside line, and once again, we're getting in just a false breakout. So let's see where this daily candle is going to end up being today, because if it once again stays below this downside line, I mean, this kind of puts pressure on the bulls, as more bears could start joining in. But if you want to be a little bit more on the safe side, wait for a drop below this, another drop below the 1.2630 territory right here, and in order to, let's say, consider maybe a larger move to the downside. Now, jumping into USD/JPY, and look at this picture here. I mean, this is just unstoppable. I mean, this is just insane, and it continues to rally. And well, I mean, if you're trying to short this one, guys, I mean, I hope you're having your stop losses in place. But basically, as I mentioned before, and as mentioned this morning, and to be honest, what I mention all the time, wait for that reversal signal, wait for that confirmation reversal signal, and then you could go for maybe a bit more here, or not more, but a bit to the downside. For now, again, it's just one-way traffic. I mean, it's just a very steep up move here. So let's see how far it can travel. And of course, if it can travel further north, then my next target is the 109.85 territory right here, marked by the highest point of June of last year. And then we'll take it from there. For now, well, long story short, basically it's a bit of a tricky one here. So that's why I'm just observing the price action here. I'm not really doing much, but I'm keeping an eye on that possible reversal signal at some point, but at the moment I'm not seeing it. GBP Aussie, so this one's an interesting one, near its key resistance area once again, and the resistance area I'm talking about is the highest point of February here, near the 1.8111 mark, and so in order to go for some higher levels, we need to see a push above that, because above that barrier, because this will confirm a forthcoming higher high and more buyers could join in. But at the moment, I mean, you can see that the 200-day EMA so far is providing resistance. So let's see if the bulls have enough steam to drag this one further north. In terms of the downside, now I would prefer to maybe wait for a drop somewhere below the 1.792425 territory right here, but to be honest, it's still maybe the ideal scenario here could be to wait for a break of this upside line drawn from the low of the 7th of January, and then yes, we could go for some lower areas. At the moment, it's just a bit of a difficult one here for the downside. We're leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but again, with the upside also, a push above this 1.8111 territory is required. If we do get that, my next target is the high of the 23rd of November here, near the 1.8317. EURUSD. So EURUSD is again, interesting. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, to be honest. I mean, overall, of course, we can see that we are trading below a tentative downside resistance line here. So drawn from the peak here, the highest point of 2020. And yeah, I mean, at this point, we can see that in a way, if we look at from the shorter term perspective, we'll see that there is a possibility that the pair could be forming a possible ascending triangle here. So we do have this little incline here. There we go, and we do have the barrier that's still kind of keeping the pair kind of lower, and that's the 1.6708 territory. So even if we get a pop above this, then still we should be very careful near this downside line, which could provide still resistance. So in a way, if you want to get a little bit more excited with higher levels, well, you could probably wait for a break of this downside line and then a push above last week's high near the 1.6757 territory right here. This way the pair would confirm a forthcoming higher high and more buyers could join in. And finally, EURUSD. So the pair continues to drift lower. Everything's in line with the idea that I've mentioned last week and today this morning. And the idea was that basically we are targeting that 200-day EMA, which we are coming close to already. So let's see if we get a hold up somewhere near this 200-day EMA or this 1.18 territory marked by the low, the 23rd of November. And then we'll take it from there, because if that provides good support, well, I mean, we could see a nice rebound and a push back up. So that's it kind of for this session, guys. This was just a very quick overview of some of the instruments that I looked at this morning, some new ones. But yeah, guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and I'll see you tomorrow at my Traders Espresso, as always, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful evening, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.